welcome back to Refresh 21. I'm here with Cheryl Thyke, Internal Quality Assurer at Busy Bees Training Academy. Welcome, Cheryl. You're the Internal Quality Assurer for Business and Management, and today we're going to be having a Q&A session with regards to the business management sector and the apprenticeships that we offer. So first of all, Cheryl, can I ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, sure. So as you mentioned, I'm the internal quality assurer, focusing on the management and business sectors within the training that we deliver. I started off working in the early years sector myself, worked through up to a management position before then moving into working for training. Within there, I've then worked with management learners myself and supported and developed those before sort of moving through to the quality team in which I work now to support the delivery of those apprenticeships to the learners in various settings.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what apprenticeships we offer within the business and management sector.
So there's a range. We've got a various sort of a range of courses depending on the role that you're in. So we've got team leader supervisor at level 3. Previously, people within sort of small teams would have worked on a management diploma, but we've now got a team leader supervisor level 3 course that's suited for those managing sort of smaller teams or those that have got a responsibility to oversee a certain sort of sector that they're working in within their setting. We've also got the operations departmental manager at level 5. So as the sort of the course title suggests, that's for those that are sort of responsible for overseeing any operations. They might be responsible for a department. So those in a sort of regional management position or those that are a manager of a setting would be suited for that course. We've also got business admin at level 3 for those that are working in naturally the business admin sector. And we also offer customer service specialists as well. And again, as the course title suggests, those that are involved in the service delivery to customers directly. So there's a range depending on the course that you are working on, but ultimately for anyone involved in an endpoint assessment, it's their opportunity to sort of showcase what they've been doing during their training and their learning. So they will present themselves to the endpoint assessor. They will be able to draw on real life experiences from their learning and from their time within their job role, and really sort of show off what they've been able to do with their new knowledge and how they've been able to apply that to their skills and behaviours. They might choose to present information in regards to their project that they've been involved in. They'll answer questions based on their competencies and have that opportunity as well to sort of demonstrate their use of technology and how they've been able to apply that within their sector as well.
Okay, fantastic. So why are apprenticeships then in this sector valuable?
I think the value with sort of business and admin as well as management is that they are very holistic. So the standards are worked with within the sector and the setting that they work in, depending on their job role. But ultimately, the skills that they are building and those behaviours that they're building within their time are very holistic. They are able to transfer these in a wide range of different job roles. So they may be learning and doing their apprenticeship within one job role within a setting, but ultimately those skills will be with them for life, and they can use them in various sectors as well. So they can move with them, and I think that really supports career progression. So if interests change within a person, they've still got valuable experiences that they can take with them.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so you mentioned knowledge, skills and behaviours. So what knowledge, skills and behaviours then do learners develop whilst undertaking these apprenticeships?
Okay, within the business admin courses, there's a strong emphasis on being able to use IT. They will also be sort of involved in project delivery and designing and implementing their own project. That also occurs within the team leader supervisor level 3 and the operations departmental manager at level 5. Within the management courses, they'll be looking at operational management, so they get the opportunity to develop their knowledge, skills and behaviours in project management. They'll look at finance as well within those operations as well. Interpersonal management, so that's about them being able to lead and manage a team. They'll work on building relationships and working on their communication skills, and they're working on their own personal effectiveness throughout as well. So that will involve things such as self-awareness, managing themselves. They'll work on decision making as well, which will impact their ability to work at an operational level. And they're building on behaviours such as sort of taking responsibility, their agility and inclusivity, and also their professionalism as well. And some of these are transferable again within various sectors. If they're working on customer service, that will be in relation to the direct sort of service delivery and developing the quality of customer experience.
Okay,
so lots of different skills to be working on within the range of courses that we offer. So I'm keen to know now, Sam, when a learner does begin an apprenticeship with us, they'll meet with the development coach for the first time. What does that meeting look like for a learner?
So the first meeting with the development coach is very much an information sharing meeting. So it's setting that apprentice up on the right foot. So providing them information such as their off the job requirements. So what type of activities that they can use in order to be able to log their off the job, and what's obviously expected from them as well as the employer. They will look at the learning journey. So typically what can be expected at the different milestone points within the learner journey, and when they would be expected to meet them and how to meet them. We'd also be looking at, for example, if the apprentice required functional skills, so what that learning would look like, what that delivery would look like, and again, the expectations of that apprentice and from the employer as well within that.
So they're certainly set to go. So once they have had that meeting and their journey begins, how are they supported by their development coach to enable them to complete their apprenticeship?
So the development coach provides the support to an apprentice. It's very individualised, so it's kind of tailored with regards to the learner. So no learner is the same and no one learns the same. So from developing those relationships with the apprentice to find out what their preferred learning style is like, for example, where their strengths are or where their areas of development are as well, the development coach can tailor that delivery to them. So they will provide support by delivering training sessions to them, teaching sessions. They will meet with them, whether it be on a monthly basis, bi-weekly, weekly, dependent on what that apprentice needs. They are there to guide, develop, mentor that apprentice to be able to help them detail the knowledge that they're learning, to show that distance that's been travelled, for allow them to identify where they are within their behaviours and what development needs can be put into place to help them to develop in those areas. They're there also to provide information, advice and guidance, so whether that be for safeguarding, British values, prevent, and also to provide CIAG, so careers advice and guidance. So what is their next step when it comes to their career? What is their career pathway? What do they want to do for the future? Why are they completing this apprenticeship, and help them ultimately reach those goals?
Lovely. So the development coach certainly supports them on their apprenticeship journey. What does an apprenticeship journey look like to the learner as well?
Yeah, so each apprenticeship lasts over 12 months. So dependent on the length of stay, again, is dependent on the learner's individual requirements. So some apprenticeships can be longer than others. So for example, 21 months, 18 months, 24 months. They will always have a practical period of where they complete their learning, and then they will have a period then of when they go into their endpoint assessment. So as I said before, they meet with their development coaches on whether it be a monthly basis or bi-weekly, for example, whatever they need, whether that be face-to-face or virtually. And they support them to be able to build that portfolio ready for their endpoint assessment within business and management, for them to be able to then showcase the knowledge, skills and behaviours that they've developed over that time to that endpoint assessor.
Lovely. So is there anything else? You mentioned how the development coaches support the apprentices. Is there any other kind of support that might be available to a learner should they need it whilst they're going through their journey?
Yeah, so each apprentice is unique. As I said earlier, everybody learns in a different way. So we offer support to our apprentices in the sense of some learners may need a reasonable adjustments put in place if they have, for example, neurodiversity needs or a learning need. We're able to put learner support plans in place where actions are agreed between ourselves, the apprentice and the employer of what actions can be agreed to in order to support that learner to be able to progress and develop at the rate that they should be. We utilise and have a partnership with Cognisist, which is a assessment tool of where learners who identify maybe in a range of neurodiversity that they can develop their strategies within those areas on a monthly basis, and we're able to tailor their learning journey to themselves. So sessions may vary, they're very much learner led. We want to make sure that, you know, their mental health and their well-being is managed. This is done by signposting them to resources, or whether you know, their employer assistance program, for example, having that relationship between the employer, so we're able to fully support that apprentice on a 360-degree approach.
Lovely, lots of support available.
Yeah, definitely. So back to you then, Cheryl. So what are the off-the-job hours and how can learners meet them?
Okay, so off the job hours, as again the title sort of suggests, it's hours that they're spending off their normal working duty as such, so not things that they're normally doing as part of their everyday practice or everyday tasks. So these can include a huge range of different activities. So these could potentially be set by the development coach as suggestions for them to do. There'll also be opportunities that naturally come up within their own employment. So things like staff meetings, if they are reading policies and procedures, if they are spending some time maybe shadowing a senior of some description, or they're shadowing a new activity that they've never been involved in before. They're just some examples to name. Professional reading, and all of these can count towards their off the job hours, which we encourage learners to log. It's the employer's responsibility to make sure that the learner is provided with the 20% of hours to be able to sort of meet that funding requirement. And they are so important because they are valuable to the learner. Without spending that time taking part in off-the-job learning, they wouldn't be able to develop their knowledge, skills and behaviours within their course. So it really gives them the opportunity to sort of stretch and challenge themselves, and to be able to sort of inform their knowledge and ultimately inform practice. So employers should be keen to provide these opportunities, because usually it would then mean that actually that learner can potentially take on some extra roles and responsibilities because they've learned new skills.
Okay, fantastic. So what career opportunities then are available for an apprentice within the business and management sector?
So this is vast. So as we mentioned, the courses are very holistic and the skills that are being built are transferable. So ultimately, as I mentioned earlier, with interests changing, if you chose to sort of take your career path into a new sector, those skills will go with you. I've mentioned myself that I have worked in an early years setting myself, and then moved to training, where I've then been able to develop my management skills further, and be able to then in turn support the delivery of management in my job role. So ultimately, you know, for example, with the operations departmental manager, once you've completed that, you could be setting your eyes on careers that have involvement in, you know, the operations and management of a department within a sector of your choice, depending on the qualifications needed for that specific sector. The skills built within these courses are totally transferable.
Okay, thank you.
So I'd like you to share your experience. I know I've obviously shared a little bit about my experience there, but what can your career look like after you've gained a qualification then in management or business admin?
So my story is I started my management level 3, which obviously now we offer the team leader supervisor. That gave me the foundation knowledge in the and skills and behaviour in supporting a small team. From completing that qualification, I was then able to develop within the knowledge, skills and behaviour to be able to develop in learning how to manage that small team, and naturally progressed and built up and went on to complete my management level 5 and my ODM level 5. So once I progressed into this role, this then gave me that extended knowledge and those extended skills and those extended behaviours in order to be able to manage projects, budgets, etc., and to be able to manage wider organisations. In turn, from completing that, I've been able to climb the career ladder. Again, starting off in nurseries, myself going into senior positions, coming over to the training world, starting as a assessor, going up to a area team leader, internal quality assurer, education quality manager, and now I've become the head of operations for Busy Bees Education and Training. As a result of that, I've not wanted to stop learning. I still very much have that hunger for being able to develop and, you know, being in the position that I am now, wanting to still extend. So these apprenticeships are giving me the ability now and those foundations in order to start my degree learning. So I'm currently enrolled on my business and management top-up degree, which I'll complete now for a further 2 years, which, you know, gives me that whole 360 degree approach in the sense of obviously that knowledge from completing those apprenticeships and starting with the level 3, going on to the level 5 and now the degree. I've been able to have that workplace experience as well, not only just obviously receiving that knowledge.
Excellent. So if we were keen to find out a little bit more about the apprenticeships that we offer, where could I go?
So we have a lot of information on our website. So on Busy Bees Education and Training website, you can also have a look at social media, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we are also currently live on YouTube, so there's a lot of information on there as well.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. Have there been any questions?
So one question that's been asked is, what is the employer's responsibility in regards to the EPA and what do they need to know?
Okay, so Cheryl, you mentioned this a little bit earlier. Do you want to just expand on it a bit more?
Yes, definitely. So they're involved with the learner from start to finish. So as Sam mentioned, there is an initial meeting with the development coach. The employer will be very much involved in that. So they will know from the very beginning about the requirements of the endpoint assessment and what the learner journey is going to look like. And ultimately, when that time comes, the endpoint assessment, they'll be involved in a gateway meeting with the learner, the development coach, and the employer will be involved in that to confirm and agree that that learner is ultimately ready to enter gateway and to head towards the endpoint assessment. They will be ready because the development coach will have worked with the employer to make sure that they've been able to develop the knowledge, skills and behaviours that they need to be able to perform at their absolute best in the endpoint assessment itself.
Thank you.
And what experience would I need to go onto a level 5 management qualification? Can I do this without doing the level 3?
Yes, so ultimately it doesn't matter with regards to experience so much. The crucial part is what job role they are in. So we want to make sure, as we mentioned there, that they are ready for their endpoint assessment. And if they are not in the job role suited to the course, then they wouldn't be able to develop those knowledge, skills and behaviours. So if they are already in that position where they are working at an operational level, then absolutely they can go towards the level 5.
And what type of job role would I need to be working in to take the customer service level 3 qualification?
So that one, as part of the endpoint assessment, they are observed in regards to the direct delivery of customer service. So they would have to be working with customers essentially day in, day out. So they are working directly with the customers and working on the delivery of the quality of service that they're offering to the customers itself, and be completely involved in the customer experience.
Okay, that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.